Hi, I'm Duncan Moss, and I'd like to welcome you to my latest YouTube channel video feature. Today, I'll be talking about the 1931 Universal horror film Frankenstein. And we all know that the film brought Boris Karloff to stardom, but when the film was in production, there was a very different attitude to characters that would change once the film had been completed. Uh, the monster was not considered to be an incredibly important character. Obviously, they wanted him to be frightening, they wanted it to be effective, but they really didn't think he was the backbone of the movie. That they thought would be Colin Clive as Dr. Henry Frankenstein and May Clark as Elizabeth, his fiancée. And most of the publicity for the film was put out amongst with their names attached, and the same with the premiere of the film. Now, please understand, I am not putting down Colin Clive or May Clark. They were absolutely superb, particularly Colin Clive as the neurotic Dr. Frankenstein, and both he and Boris Karloff had the opportunity to expand their characters in this 1935 sequel, The Bride of Frankenstein. The Originally the film, well, we probably know this, Bela Lugosi was penciled in to be the monster, but he didn't want, being a classically trained actor, he didn't want what he called a mute brute role. And when he found out that Boris Karloff was going to be the monster, he found his phone number in the directory and phoned him up and said, "No, it might make you a little money." Now Boris had to endure, I think it's 4 hours putting the makeup on and then 2 hours having the makeup taken off, and that's 6 hours already when you haven't even, when the camera hasn't taken a frame. Um, and Boris wasn't very happy with his performance. He's reputed to have said when watching some of the rushes, "Oh, I think I've blown it." But his friend Edward Van Sloan, who plays Dr. Waldman in the movie, he said, "No, Boris, not so. You've got it made." Now, Boris had already made about another 6 or 7 movies when between the time the film wrapped and the premiere, and Universal, to their shame, didn't even invite him to the premiere. This is the second of their horror movies. Bela Lugosi had done very well as Dracula in the early part of 1931, and Universal was in great financial difficulty at this time, and Dracula did very well at the box office. It didn't get them out of financial trouble, but it did give them give them time. It bought them time. And then Carl Laemmle Jr., against his father's wishes, made a second horror picture, and that's where the word horror comes from. And that went out the Frankenstein went out in December 1931, early 1932, and when Universal finally realised that it was Boris who was responsible for making the film the major success it was, they looked around. Where was he? Well, he was still playing small parts in movies, something he'd been doing for 20 years. But when they realised that they really wanted him, so that his agent phoned Boris up saying that Universal were offering him a star contract, and Boris has said, for the first time in 20 years, I know where my next penny was coming from. And of course, he went on for the next 37 years, chilling audiences. And even after his death, he still continues to chill audiences with a string of fantastic performances. Now, it's easy to reflect how Universal could have pretty much blown it, looking for putting emphasis on certain parts of the production, concentrating on some characters, and really using the monster as really a throwaway part. Now, Boris didn't play him as a mute brute, he played him like an autistic child. And that was that went to the hearts of the audience. You're terrified of him, but you also feel very sorry for him. And as I say, the film is peppered with superb performances. Dwight Frye as Fritz, the hunchback assistant, and loads of faces that you see in Universal movies through the 30s and 40s. Frederick Kerr, who was plays the elderly Baron Frankenstein, Henry Frankenstein's father, and is really for comic relief. But I think he's also in James Whale's film Journey's End. As I say, the film is so strong on Jack Pierce's makeup. He can take he devised that with Boris and with director James Whale. He can take a bow because that part of the success of the monster character goes to Jack Pierce, makeup man, who would make many a Universal monster, and as the years went by. The just trying to think. There's a load of just a load of memorable moments. Little Maria, I can't remember her name, but she's absolutely superb in it. So it's a very strong film and was a massive success. So spawning a whole franchise. So I think about 8 or 9 pictures. So it made the career of Boris. It also really helped in solidify James Whale's reputation as a director. He'd made 2 films earlier. Oh crikey! One of them was Waterloo Bridge with a very young Betty Davis, and the other one was Journey's End, the very memorable First World War story. But as I say, not only did it was it a great success for Boris Karloff, but it basically relaunched the main part of his career. And I've got here a little Boris Karloff Frankenstein monster. This is from Super 7. This is what I call the nightclub edition, because he looks like he's dressed. He glows in the dark, and looks like he's ready to go night clubbing, which I think is rather nice. Of course, he became that Frankenstein monster became an icon of the 20th century. But as I say, Universal could have blown it, but it was the skill of Karloff to take a part that was not considered to be anything that important, and make it much bigger than the Universal had ever devised. So Universal very nearly shot themselves in the foot, but fortunately they didn't. The movie saved Universal from bankruptcy, and when the new Universal theme park opens in the UK in the next 5 or 6 years, I do hope that they will have a section dedicated to the Universal monsters. Anyhow, I hope you've enjoyed this and me waffling. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, I'd love to have you aboard. There's no we, it's just me at the moment. We'd love to have you aboard, and if you'd like to click the like button, that would be very kind as well. Because a lot of people just don't bother to click the like button. But it's a tremendous help to building the channel. So, or you can even forward this on to a friend if you think it's any good. But I haven't done one for a while, so it's one of these presentations. So it's really nice to do one again. So you all take care, everybody. God bless.